Hello guys, in this video we'll be studying about the measures of skewness, which is the second part of the last module, that is fifth module, measures of dispersion. And this topic will be asked for 14 marks, one problem, and it's a for sure question. So let's understand what is skewness in simple terms. They say skewness gives an idea about the shape of the curve which can be drawn with the help of frequency distribution. Okay, in simple terms, they are also saying the curve will be normally in bell shaped curve. Okay, this I have just written it as a graph. In this graph, with the help of frequency distribution data, if you draw the smooth hand curve, you will get the curve in the bell shaped. So when you are getting the curve in the bell shaped equally, then they say the skewness ratio will be symmetric or asymmetric in a symmetrical bell curve. If it's equal, then they call it as the skewness is in the normal distribution. If it is not equally represented, then they say it is asymmetrical. That's the meaning of skewness. The skewness is divided, it is derived by the two statisticians, Karl Pearson's coefficient of skewness and Bowley's coefficient of skewness. As of now, for your BCom syllabus, we are dealing with Karl Pearson's. Karl Pearson's coefficient of skewness formula, I have written it here. It is denoted as KPCS. The formula is mean minus mode divided by standard deviation, that is x bar minus z divided by standard deviation. So what you should understand here is, first step is identifying the mean, second step is identifying the mode, third step is identifying standard deviation. All these data will be used to identify the Karl Pearson's coefficient of skewness. If the answer is positive, you need to give a conclusion saying that the skewness is positive. Otherwise, you have to give a conclusion it is negative. Sometimes, as we know and we have studied in the third chapter, mode may be ill-defined. That is, what is mode? Highest frequency is mode. What if there are two highest frequency? That is ill-defined. Then the formula for skewness will be 3 into x minus m divided by standard deviation. Here m is median, not mode. Okay. Now let's understand the formula which is required to solve the problems under skewness. First step is identifying mean. The formula is sigma fx divided by n. So why only this formula I have written it here is, you may be thinking there are three types: individual observation and continuous series and discrete series. But here in this question, definitely they have to give you frequency without fail, because the definition says you can draw the bell curve only with the frequency distribution. So frequency will definitely be there. That's the reason sigma fx divided by n will give you the mean. Next mode is L. L is the lowest class interval. L plus f1 minus f0 divided by 2 into f1 minus f0 minus f2 into c. Here f1 is the highest frequency, f0 is the frequency preceding the highest frequency, f2 is the frequency succeeding the highest frequency, c is the width between the class interval. The third step is identifying standard deviation. Formula is root sigma fx square divided by n. Last step is KPCS, it is Karl Pearson's coefficient of skewness, mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. With the values whatever you have identified, you have to apply it. Now let's get into one sample problem how to solve. See, this question is asked in 2014. The question is, calculate Karl Pearson's coefficient of skewness for the following frequency distribution of profits earned by 100 partnership firms during the year 2013. Okay, they've given you profits of the companies and they've given you number of partnership firms are so and so. See, whenever you see the first column, that is class interval, they've given you more than 10, more than 20, 30, 40. What you should understand, they have not directly given you the class interval, rather they've given you with more than 10, 20. So the difference between each class interval is 10. So how do you write it down? you have to write the class interval like this: 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, and 90 to 100, because here it is up to 90 and the definition here says more than 90. So more than 90 means it comes up to 100. Now the next column of the question is number of partnership firm. Anything that is derived with number is called as frequency. See, they've given you the values in descending order, that is from the highest to the least. Then you should understand the given frequency is in more than cumulative frequency. You should identify actual frequency. How do you identify actual frequency? From the last, write 3 as it is. Next, 3 minus 8, 5, 8 minus 15, 7, 15 minus 25, 10, 25 minus 40, 15, 40 minus 70, 30, 70 minus 90, 20, and 20 minus 97 is 7, 97 minus 100 is 3. You have calculated actual frequency. Immediately, what is the next step that you have to do to know this? You have to first write down the formulas. First step is identifying the mean. Formula is x bar is equals to sigma fx divided by n. I have identified f, frequency. I should identify x. What is x here? X is the mid value. 10 plus 20 divided by 2, 15. 20 plus 30 divided by 2, 25. Similarly, you have to calculate for all the steps and write the mid value in the name of x. Next column is fx. So this f column and x column, you have to multiply the values. You will be getting these values. Just total up this column, you will get 4980, and you should also total frequency column, that is capital N is equals to 100. Now simplify the formula. 4980 divided by 100, that is N. You are getting 49.8, which is approximately 50. The next step here is identifying the mode. I have written the formula of mode, L plus F1 minus F0. Okay. With the available data, you can identify mode, because I told you F1 is the highest frequency in the available data. With the given data or identified frequency, which is the highest number, 30. So that 30 is written as F1, which is F0, the frequency preceding the highest frequency, that is 20, which is F2, the frequency succeeding the highest frequency is F2. And what is the L? What is L here is, it's a lower limit. So lower limit, which you have to take F1 corresponding class interval, because this is the actual frequency. So 40 to 50, and this 40 is lower limit. Now with the available information, you can derive the formula. Z is equals to L is 40 plus F1 is 30 minus F0 is 20 divided by 2 into F1. F1 is again 2 into 30 minus F0 is 20 minus F2 is 15 into 10. 10 is the difference between the class interval. So I've written 10. You have to simplify it, and you will be getting the value of mode as 44. The third step is identifying the standard deviation. The formula for standard deviation is root sigma fx square divided by n. Now please don't get confused that you have already identified x, so I have to just make it square. This x is not the one which we deal with the standard deviation. This is just the midpoint which we have written in the name of x. You should always identify the capital X. Keep that in mind. It's a capital X, just to know the difference. What is this x? How do you identify? X minus x bar, that is mean. The value of mean that you have identified is 50. So write down that 50. For all these x values, you need to deduct 50. That is 15 minus 50 minus 35, 25 minus 50 minus 25. Similarly, you need to do with all the steps. Whatever you get, you should write, let it be with a negative symbol or positive symbol, write as it is. The next step is x square, because the formula is asking for fx square. So x square is 35 into 35, you get 1225. I have told you in the last video why am I not taking negative symbol here is because minus 35 into minus 35, minus into minus becomes plus. So you have to find the square of all these values and write down in this column. Immediate next column is fx square, because the formula is asking fx square. So whatever the frequency that you have identified into x square, these frequency values into x square values, if you do it, you will get fx square. Just do the total, you get 32,500. Now simplify this formula. Fx square is 32,500 divided by n is 100. You are getting 325. Root for that is 18.02. How do you get this root? In your calculator you can use it. You will get 18.02. Now we have extracted all the three answers whichever is required for the formula. Now write down Karl Pearson's coefficient of skewness formula, mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. What is the answer of mean? 50. Write 50. Minus mode is 44. Write 44. Divided by standard deviation 18.02. I have written all the data. 50 minus 44 divided by 18.02, you get 0.332. So the given distribution is positively skewed because you've got positive answers. You have not got any negative answer. It is a positive. So you are writing the distribution is positively skewed. This is all with the problem under skewness. Only these kind of questions will be asked. It is continuous series definitely. Sometimes they may ask you more than, then be please cautious that if it's more than, the last step will definitely extend, and here the given frequency will always be more than cumulative frequency. If the question is asked in less than, then this last step should be within 50, that is 40 to 50 should be the last class interval, and given frequency will always be less than cumulative frequency, that is in ascending order. So if it's less than or more than, make sure you are identifying the actual frequency. This is the one point that you should remember. Another point to remember is always please remember to give a conclusion. See, in this you got minus 0.045, then the conclusion is the distribution is negatively skewed. Only this kind of problems are enough, because so far they have not asked you any other kind of problems. See, in this question they have given you directly the wages, class interval, and number of workers, that is the frequency is random. So they have already given you the actual frequency. You need not have to identify frequency. Write the data as it is and just go with the next step. It is asked almost from 2014 to 2019. See, there is nothing much difficulty in this. It's a for sure 14 marks question. Please prepare well, study well. I think with this video I am completing with the 5th chapter as well as your entire QABD syllabus. If you guys have any doubt, you can contact me directly. I'll be even sending you the previous year question paper question. Previous to this topic, I've sent you the question paper problems also up to 2019. For this topic also, they've asked in 2019. I'll be sending you the photos. Thank you.